Hey, welcome back to another episode of Tune Quest. Today we're looking at Slow Dance by Clairo. Okay, let's get into it. There are a couple of parts to show you. So let's start with what I just showed you. Okay, let's start with the left hand. Our first chord is a G major 7. Okay, so you've got a G major triad and your thumb is grabbing that F sharp for the major 7th extension. And then we're coming down to an F sharp minor. Okay, so you've got an F sharp minor triad and your thumb is grabbing that E. And then we're coming down to play an E minor 7. Again, E minor triad, the thumb is grabbing the 7th extension, which is D. And then we have a D major 7, okay? Yeah, so that's the progression in the left hand. Now the right hand is playing this lovely melodic thing, okay? So we start by kind of arpeggiating down this B minor triad, starting on the top. And you hold that for a little bit. And you want to accentuate that top note. So that's over the G major. And then when we go to this F sharp minor, we're changing these two notes a little bit to play now an A and a C sharp. And then it goes back to the D minor. And then it goes back to that one. So you're alternating between that and that. The top note is always going to be an F sharp. Okay? So that's the first idea. And it sounds beautiful. Okay, now let's get into the verse, which sounds something like this. Okay, so that's the main idea. Firstly, let's look at the left hand chord progression. Our first chord is a G major. This time we're going to keep the chords simple, just basic triads, and we're arpeggiating them. Okay, and then it goes down to a D major. And then up to an E minor. And then down to the D major again. Now the melody starts by going up that D major, back down to the D, C sharp, finishes on A, and then it goes F sharp B, F sharp A. Okay? So, now it's Clairo, so you want to have a bit of a soft touch with these notes. Okay? You want to kind of capture some of the essence of the song, right? And the artist. In terms of how Clairo sings her melodies, sings her lyrics, okay? So that's kind of like the verse, and then it moves into this kind of like pre-chorus section, which goes like this. Okay, so the progression changes back to that first progression I showed you. So we're on a G major, then that goes down to an F sharp minor, and that goes down to an E minor, then a A major, before it goes back to the D major. And that's the progression, right? That's with basic triads in the left hand, but let's take it to the next level by playing root 5, octave 5, root 5, octave 5 arpeggios. If you want a little bit of bassy low end, A, D. Okay, so that's another thing that you can do with the left hand. The melody is really simple. So that's the main idea. B, F sharp, B, B, A. And you're kind of doing this rhythmic pattern where you go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, right? So that's the whole sequence, and that repeats. Yeah, so that's kind of like the pre-chorus, I suppose. And then the chorus goes like this. Okay, so yeah, let's look at the chords first. F sharp minor goes to a B minor, and again we're using that same arpeggio pattern where you're playing the root, the 5, or the octave, the 5, and then you're going to an E minor, A major, then D major, G major, E minor, A major. Okay, so that's the chord sequence. Now the melody starts on F sharp, C sharp, down to the B, back to the F sharp, and then you want to descend from this G, right? Da 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 do, land on that C sharp as we go to the A major chord, da da, climb up, and then da 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 da. Okay, so that's going from that D major to that G major. We're going like this. Okay, da da, F sharp, E, flick thing. What is that? I'm placing the second finger on B, the pinky on E, and then you're flicking up to that C sharp, back to that second finger, like this. And then we're going to the E to the A again, E minor to the A major, so you're going to descend here. Okay, da 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 da, and then back up. That was complicated. Okay, let me just play the whole thing slowly so you can kind of work through it. Okay, so hopefully you can work through that, and you can also add some extra notes from the chords. So this first chord is an F sharp minor, so I'm gonna add the 3rd there and the 5th there. And then here for this E minor chord, right? I'm adding that B and that D, descending. And then for this A dominant chord, I'm adding the thumb on that G, climbing up. Here, I'm adding that A, which is the 5th of D major, flick thing, and then, what's that? I've got that shape there, so you've got a G major 7. Again, that top note is the melody. That thumb is always on that G. You can do the whole sequence up here as well. Okay, and then that finishes off with this thing. Okay, that's nice and simple. That's just a D octave in the left hand, and in the right hand you've got your thumb on A, your middle finger on C sharp, your pinky on F sharp, and you're playing those and then playing the second finger on B and alternating that. Like that. 4 times, I think. And then you can go back to the top. Alright, hopefully this tutorial was helpful to you. If you want help leveling up your keyboard skills, check out UtK Keyboard Pro. It's a whole system and a map for you to explore. And that's all for this tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed this one. See you in the next one. Bye bye.